China is constructing the biggest water diversion project globally, challenging nature itself. They're creating thousands of kilometers of artificial canals, aqueducts, and tunnels that go through actual mountains. The goal is to supply fresh water to the dry industrial areas in the northern part of the country. In this video, we'll delve into the south to north water diversion project, exploring its cost, the reasons behind it, its impact on the environment, and whether it will truly benefit the Chinese population. China's geography has played a significant role in shaping its history and development. The country's eastern regions, blessed by the Yangtze and Yellow River systems, have been home to human civilizations for thousands of years. The fertile floodplains in this area have supported a growing Chinese population, making the Yellow River Valley a crucial and consistently developed agricultural hub globally. However, the northern and far western parts of China present challenges. These areas, including the Taklamakan and Gobi deserts in the north, and the Himalayas and Tibetan Plateau in the west, are characterized by dryness and rugged terrain. As a result, these regions are sparsely populated and unsuitable for widespread agriculture, with only 6% of China's population residing to the west of an imaginary dividing line. Historically, northern cities like Beijing served as centers for population, agriculture, and trade. In the mid-20th century, China experienced unprecedented population and economic growth. However, this surge in development strained vital resources, particularly water. Northern cities, including Beijing, heavily relied on groundwater to meet the increasing demands of urbanization and industry. Unfortunately, this reliance led to overexploitation of the limited freshwater sources. The situation in northern China faced a serious challenge due to various factors, making it imperative to address the growing water scarcity. The expansion of the Gobi Desert in the Inner Mongolia Autonomous Region, coupled with frequent dust and sandstorms, added to the predicament. Every year, an alarming 3,600 square kilometers of grasslands, equivalent to twice the size of Luxembourg, were succumbing to desertification, a process primarily fueled by human activities like deforestation, climate change, and the depletion of underground water sources. By the early 1950s, it became evident that northern China would soon struggle to meet the water needs of its expanding population. The cities in the north were growing, while water resources were dwindling. Faced with this impending crisis, China sought a solution to sustain hundreds of millions of people in historically arid regions. In 1952, Mao Zedong, the founder of the People's Republic of China, proposed a novel idea to address the emerging water shortage, transferring water from the water-rich south to the water-scarce north. Mao expressed this vision with the words, "Water in the south is abundant, water in the north scarce. If possible, it would be fine to borrow a little." However, it took 50 years of extensive planning and research before Mao's vision gained approval from the country's State Council in 2002. This monumental initiative was officially named the South-North Water Transfer Project, aiming to create an intricate network of aqueducts, tunnels, reservoirs, and dams to channel fresh water from the water-abundant south to the water-starved north. The project comprised three major canal systems known as the Eastern, Central, and Western routes. The eastern route of this big project starts near the city of Yangzhou, close to a part of the Yangtze River. A really big and old pumping station is responsible for moving water from the Yangtze to the Jinghang Grand Canal, which is the world's longest artificial waterway that humans made from scratch. The water then goes through an underground tunnel to cross the Yellow River. After that, a series of aqueducts carry the water to the coastal city of Tianjin, which is next to the capital Beijing in the northwest. The whole eastern route of the project is more than 1,100 kilometers long. They began building it in 2002, hoping to have fresh water flowing by 2013. But because of delays, it took more than 4 extra years. By 2017, they finally got fresh water to Tianjin, providing about 1 billion cubic meters of water each year to help around 10 million people in the city. Now, the central route of this big project faces different challenges because it didn't have existing infrastructure to use. It starts at the Danjiangkou Reservoir. To make the water easily flow northward, they had to lift the Danjiangkou Dam up to 15 meters. This raised the water level in the reservoir, allowing it to flow through canals and aqueducts without needing pumping stations. But because of these changes, more than 300,000 people in Hubei and Henan had to move away from their homes to make space for the canals and the bigger reservoir. The central route of China's South-North Water Transfer Project is a man-made system of canals and aqueducts that act like a water highway across the Chinese Central Plain. It includes the impressive Shahi Aqueduct, stretching more than 12 kilometers over the Shahi River. Eventually, this route reaches Beijing, the capital of China. Completed in 2014, the central route spans over 1,200 kilometers, redirecting about one-third of the Han River's water flow. This diversion caused issues for millions relying on the Han for fresh water. To address this, in July 2022, the Chinese government revealed plans for a massive underground tunnel. This ambitious project aims to connect the Three Gorges Dam to the Han River, and eventually the central route leading to Beijing. Expected to be the longest and deepest artificial waterway, the tunnel, 1 kilometer below the surface, is a critical solution to the water supply problem. By 2030, the central route is projected to transfer a substantial 12 cubic kilometers of water annually, about one-third of the Three Gorges Dam's total capacity. In contrast, the western route of the South-North Water Transfer Project is still in the planning phase and presents significant challenges. This route aims to connect the Yangtze River to the Yellow River through the Qinghai-Tibet Plateau, situated 3 to 5 kilometers above sea level. The rugged terrain and harsh climate make this the most difficult of the three routes. Engineers must contend with carving through mountains to overcome the challenging landscape. The western route is expected to finish by 2050, and when it's done, it could bring about 17 cubic kilometers of fresh water every year to northern Chinese provinces. This could help almost 100 million people who live along the route. There were some unofficial ideas before to use the western route to take water from rivers that cross borders, like the Brahmaputra and Mekong rivers, which start in China and flow through India and Southeast Asia. Although this was never officially part of the plan, India was worried that China might use the project to control the Brahmaputra's water, causing concerns for the Indian government. For China, the South-North Water Transfer Project is already seen as a big success, even though it's not finished yet. Chinese state media says that the project is helping around 140 million people in regions where water is scarce. This shows the Chinese government's commitment to solving water problems and ensuring a stable water supply for its citizens. The completion of both the Western Route and the South-North Water Transfer Project will likely have a significant impact on the water resources and populations in the regions they serve, bringing both challenges and opportunities for the countries involved. The plan to change the direction of the Yangtze River's flow has caused disagreements among local Chinese governments. Some provinces in the southern upstream region, like Sichuan and Hubei, don't support the idea. They fear that the western route construction, part of the South-North Water Transfer Project, could harm their water security and hydropower industry. On the flip side, western provinces such as Gansu and Qinghai believe that the western route could bring much-needed stability to their regions in terms of socio-economic development and agriculture. While the project may benefit some northern Chinese cities, it has raised concerns from both local and international environmentalists. The South-North Water Transfer Project involves creating artificial waterways that disrupt the natural flow of China's rivers, moving from west to east. This construction has interrupted hundreds of natural rivers, causing some to dry up entirely. The magnitude of water being transferred has led to the disappearance of 600 rivers during the project's construction. Moreover, the artificial rivers are now contaminated with industrial waste and sewage. On the central route, starting from the Danjiangkou Reservoir, cities like Xi'an release their industrial waste into the Han River. This river flows directly into the reservoir and eventually joins the central route leading to Beijing. Since these artificial rivers pass through many cities and villages nationwide, people, businesses, and industries often dispose of their waste into these created water channels. Adding to the problem, there is a noticeable absence of water treatment facilities throughout the entire course of the project. With the implementation of the central route, the natural flow of the Yangtze River has been reduced by up to 36%. This alteration in the river's course has raised concerns among experts about the possibility of a significant backflow of seawater from the Yellow Sea into local water supplies for coastal Chinese cities like Shanghai and Nantong. If the diversion of water from the Yangtze continues, it may lead to a decrease in its flow, allowing salt water from the Yellow Sea to reach even the man-made canals. Such an occurrence could potentially trigger a widespread water crisis throughout the entire country. Concerns about the environment have been a major hurdle in advancing the western route of the South-North Water Transfer Project. The plan for this route involves building tunnels through a very mountainous part of China. The construction process could lead to landslides and harm the local plants and animals. Moreover, the Qinghai-Tibet Plateau, where this route is planned, experiences frequent earthquakes. If a major earthquake were to occur during the construction of the project, it could cost the Chinese government billions of dollars. Currently, 2 out of the 3 planned routes for the South-North Water Transfer project have been completed. However, the accomplishment comes with a hefty price, not just financially, but also environmentally, socially, and economically. The total cost of the entire project is estimated to be around $62 billion USD. This figure does not even include the ongoing expenses the Chinese government will incur to maintain over 3,000 kilometers of canals, aqueducts, dams, tunnels, and reservoirs. Despite the substantial financial investment, the original goal of providing clean water to China's northern regions has not been fully achieved. Now the question arises, is the South-North Water Transfer project worth it? Do the advantages of the project outweigh the environmental costs incurred? Another consideration is whether the western route should still be pursued despite the potential risks and challenges it poses. Your opinions on these matters are important, so feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to learn more about similar projects.